Hey guys, Muddy Gazelle here, back when we're reading the My Hero Academia manga. We're in chapter 304. No title yet that I can see immediately. Um, Last we left off, very transitional-esque chapter, but a good one nonetheless. We got a talk with the big three, or the current big three. They're all uniting, and then we cut to Bakugo yelling that he can't go in and see Deku, who's still in a coma of sorts, with All Might by his side. And that's actually where we start off here, with All Might by his side, by the bed. And presumably, we're about to get some vestige discussions and stuff, or something of some sort. Training, I don't know. I feel like anything could happen this chapter. What I want is just a lot of more information from either the first holder, the brother, or just the other vestiges. So let's just dive on it. Alright? Okay. I can feel it. One for all inside him, says All Might. However, I can barely sense it happening. By the way, these are the unofficial translations. I read these because I can't wait for the official ones. I'm impatient. Deku's still out. What happened to everybody? I hope they're all okay. Aizawa Sensei, Rocklock, Manuel, Gran Torino, Kachan, Ryukyu, Togata Senpai, Ida-kun, Endeavor, Todoroki-kun, Hado Senpai. He's just thinking about everyone. Okay. Ho! Whoa! Okay. Whoa! Alright. A lot going on here. Chapter 304. Izuku Midoriya and Yagi Toshinori. Whoa! That's a cool chapter. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, we get Deku on the far right, and he's in a room. And Deku's body looks like it's half there, half still misty, because we've seen every time he's been in the vestige world, he gets a little bit more appearing of his body. It looks like half of it's appearing right now. He's in a room with all the other One for All holders, and they're sitting in these grand chairs in a circle, except for these two in the back. These two in the back who look like they're facing a wall. Okay, so on the left, that's on the right side. The left, we get the first user. Okay, is this the order of all the users? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it is. Okay. In small little boxes, we get each user. We get the first one. Sorry to put this on you while the times are still this tough, he says. And then we cut to the second and third, who have their face against the wall in the back. They're not joining these people in discussions. Dude, okay, first of all, the second user is the one that people think might be Bakugo. And not gonna lie, it looks like an adult Bakugo. You can see like the gauntlet-esque things on him in the back. Dude, I really hope time travel isn't a thing in My Hero. Okay, we'll dive into that in a second. And then the third one, again, also has his face against the wall. People think this one's Kirishima. I don't personally. Bakugo, I think it's possible, but this one, I don't think it's Kirishima. Okay, the fourth user says, this is Fate. This is the one with the scar going down his eye. And then we have Banjo, who's the fifth. Well, it's more OVA's timing thing, really. I'm not sure what OVA means in this. The sixth user, Banjo Senpai, I talked to you last time, right? Nana doesn't say anything. It's just like ... And then we obviously have Toshinori's kind of spirit, kind of ghost thing that we've always seen him have in the vestige world. He's not fully there. And then Banjo says, we need to have a talk before you wake up. Okay. I have no idea what they're about to tell Deku right now. One for all successors, Deku thinks to himself. In a vision again. The first user says, the brother. But it looks like we have a bit of a time. But it looks like we have a bit of time here. Previously, we were only able to interact with you when you were severely mentally shaken. In the last 4 months, my power, one for all, has been growing exponentially. It's been growing. Okay. And with that increase in capabilities, profiles of the previous holders of One for All were copied and pasted. And over time, we were able to communicate with one another as well. Let me read that again, just to make sure I grasp what he's saying here. And with that increase in capabilities, profiles of the previous holders of One for All were copied and pasted, and over time, we're able to communicate with one another as well. Okay, interesting. Since the previous encounter with my brother forcing himself inside our domain, the one we saw back in like chapter 270, I think, around there, if not like 280s, it's become easier for us to come before you. Banjo shouts, well, your privacy is safe, so you don't need to worry about being watched all the time. Straightforward. Akshu, wait, you have no mouth again. Okay, he just noticed he can't talk back. That kind of sucks. Deku can like hear all this, but he still can't talk back. No, even back then, I was able to make noise. My voice is slowly manifesting itself in this realm. Okay, so he can kind of like muffle, like make muffled sounds, but he can't talk yet. Okay. Oh, he can actually no, he can kind of talk. It's just, what did you mean? What did you mean about having to talk? Having like, it's okay. So he can kind of like, and Banjo looks so happy. He's like, oh, whoa. Okay, the fourth user. I will do the talking. He's huge. Wait, this is the fourth, right? Let me go back up and check. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is the fourth one. The fourth one that has the scar. He's huge in this. I don't know if this is just because it's a dream world, but he's like looming over Deku. My name is Shinomori Hagake, and I'm the fourth user of One for All. Your previous fight brought forth my power through your will. Okay, so yeah, he's the danger sensing one. Okay. Danger sense, thinks Deku. Fight. Okay, he's just trying to mouth anything he can out. You scared me there. Sorry, says Deku. I was alerted to be alert to your alertness manifesting. What a way with words. Thanks, Deku. I was alerted to be alert to your alertness manifesting. So yeah, as we know, he's danger sense and all that. So Banjo starts playing around with him. Mr. Shinomori here is a weirdo hermit who lived in the woods because he was so irritable when it came to society. Okay, so he didn't like talking to people. It was a turbulent time, he says. I wasn't the weirdo. Everyone else was. Cool, we get a little, like, backstory of these guys. And then Banjo starts trying to hit him with the whip, and because he has the danger sense, he's able to, like, dodge all the whips. They're just, like, playing around. Are you aware of my age and cause of death? Ooh, okay. Are we gonna finally learn whatever it was that, All Might found out about him? Are you aware of my age and cause of death? You were 40, says Deku. Because of death. Okay. All Might's file didn't list a cause of death. No, it looked like he scratched it out while writing it. It was old age. At 40? You died of old age at 40? Yeah, even Deku's like old age at 40, exactly what I said. I didn't understand why either. Banjo and I were discussing it amongst each other. But it was through Yagi-kun that we were able to understand. In layman's terms, One for All is no longer able to be held by a regular person. Is that because it's gotten too strong? Wait. Way back at the 4th user, it was too strong to be held by a person? Dude, this is essentially a quirk singularity, like, talk right here. About how quirks have become too strong for people to hold. Huh, says Deku? He says, I held One for All for the longest out of anyone aside from Yagi-kun. For those 18 years... Wow, 18 years, that's a good time. I evaded All for One while training this power. And it shows him, like, cutting boulders in half and stuff. That's awesome. With this phenomenal strength, I realized that I would never be able to beat him in that state. I just had to nurture this power myself so that someone else could do it. Okay, so he thought to himself, I can't beat One for All, or All for One, but I'll just keep training and get stronger. In my final year, the quirk broke my body as he shows the scar. Huh, interesting. At first, I thought it was a case of me having a weak constitution, at worst a chronic disease. But with Yagi's existence, he would confirm all theories and suspicions for me. Me dying of old age, it meant that One for All will slowly but surely burn away the life force of any one of its holders. What? What? It kills you? I mean, like, we've seen the damage it's been doing on Deku's body, but I don't think it was, like, killing him. Deku muffles, I force? That's terrible. Life force. Okay, so on the bottom it shows kind of a translation of what it actually says. So he says, life force? That's terrible. But wait a moment. What about All Might, who held One for All way longer than Shinomori-san? That's the thing, says the first user. We're trying to say, I didn't have One for all that long, and I died while fighting, so there wasn't a lot to compare it to. Yagi thought that the incongruency in lifespan had to do with some invisible limit to the load each of us could take on. Which leads me to Shinomori-kun wondering to himself if Yagi had something he didn't. Ooh. All Might is quirkless, says Deku. That's the secret? They had to be quirkless? That's what helped? Right, says the first user. It's with Yagi-kun, who's still alive today, that we learned this information. As a model of his subconscious relays all the information he learns back to us. Whoa, so his spirit in that world can't really talk, but it's still relaying information. Wow. We haven't brought it up with you just yet because we weren't so sure, but after listening to my brother, I believe the confirmation is clear. Dude, this is the stuff I've wanted. This the deep dive into One for All, like, structure. This is awesome. Okay. The idea that a portion of a quirk user's conscious permeates within the new user. Let me read that again. The idea that a portion of a quirk's user's conscious permeates within the... Okay, so like he was saying, how All for One was saying, when he takes a quirk, he just hears... He can't sleep at night because he hears, like, the soul of the person's quirk that he took. Makes us wonder how and why elements of Yagi-kun's being are here, despite him being quirkless. Oh... We thought that a successor's consciousness manifesting itself in this realm was tied to their quirk, but Yagi, being quirkless, is different to all of us. So he's a unique sample that we'll have to observe. It seems as though Yagi alone was able to summon our consciousness without knowing about it himself. Oh, and then we cut to All Might outside. Wow, dude, All Might, you're so cool. I love All Might. The fact you're so special, it's just so cool. Okay. For 40 years, Yagi-kun had One for... What? Wait, 40 years? Oh, wait, hold up. Before I continue, 40 years. I always thought All Might was like 49, 50. Okay, so if he had it for 40 years, that, and assuming he got it when he was 14, 15, that put All Might around like 54, 55. I guess that's about right. Okay. But for 40 years he had it. Wow. Okay, continuing. Sorry, I just kind of blew my mind there. Those who are born with the quirk already have their metaphorical cup filled. They're using visuals of cups as analogies here. And adding one for all to their cup makes it crack and spill over, leading to what happened with Shinomori. Toshinori was an empty cup, so one for all likely conformed and fitted itself to become his true quirk in a sense. Dude, that's awesome. Oh wow. That's so cool. Sorry, I'm freaking out here. Okay. He's still talking. Though it's still known as to the casual relationship between one for all being inherited and adapting with the user's quirk. I'm going to read that again. I need to make sure I get this. Though it is still unknown as to the casual relationship between one for all being inherited and adapting with the user's quirk, it looks as though the least to offer, the quirkless, have the most potential when inheriting this power. That is cool. So the Deku literally was actually a great choice. Okay. That's amazing because over the years you always hear people being like, man, if only Todoroki got the power, or maybe if only if Bakugo got the power. I guess he did in the movies. But, like, it's good to know that Deku was, like, legitimately the best choice. That's awesome. Deku just kind of, like, looking at himself like this realization coming to him. In summary, we cannot risk passing this quirk onto normal people already blessed with quirks of their own. That one for all needs to be given out cautiously. That's what you're saying, from Deku. With each generation, quirkless people have become more and more infrequent, which means potential applicants are limited. And Deku's flashing back to that fateful day where All Might gave it to him. Wow, what a callback. This is something neither you, Yagi, or any of us could have predicted. The fact that one for all was passed on to you is nothing short of a miracle. Wow! If only we were able to communicate with our successors faster. Perhaps we could have prevented the tragic deaths of more people. Wow. And it's showing, I'm assuming that's Night Eye from the back. It's kind of hard to tell. In other words, kiddo, says Banjo, you may be the last successor of One for All. Dude. Oh, well, okay. First of all, great shot. There's Deku standing as this news hits him, and you just see the flash, like the ding, 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 like the connecting of One for All and stuff. That's like all around him. Oh, you may be the last successor of One for All. We're still going, by the way. This chapter's still going. This is a great chapter so far. Deku hands out, says, "Me, the last." Always, that was the main topic, Izuku-kun. Says Nana. Are you able to kill Shigaraki Tomura for me? End of the chapter. All right. Okay. Where do you even begin on this? I'm just sorry if I don't say anything. I'm just kind of like scrolling around here and just... This was an awesome... Wow. Okay. I wonder if a lot of people are going to be happy with this chapter or not. Personally, I love this shit. We just got, first of all, we finally got like just straight up conversations from the previous successors. This shot of them all in the room in chairs, like I gotta feel like this is a reference to something. Maybe not. Maybe it's just Horikoshi's like own original thing. But I feel like the way that this is shot, I feel like this is probably like a reference to something. Maybe not. Where do you begin? Okay. First of all, let's start with this shot, like I just said, of them all in the room. So the two users in the back who are facing the wall. Okay, so all right, I'm just telling you guys now. This video is probably going to be pretty long. I'm gonna dive into some stuff here. So me and others in the Discord. By the way, link in the description for the Discord if you want to join. We're gonna have a lot of discussions about this, I'm sure. We've had intense conversations about the two users that have always been either kind of shadowed out or like clearly they're different. And once again, they're being shown to be different here. What does it mean, and why are they being singled out? This individual, you guys can't really see my mouse or anything. This individual on the left, if you're reading the unofficials, the one that everyone thinks is Bakugo, I was always in the camp of, it looks so damn much like Bakugo in the silhouette that I couldn't think of any way to deny it. And here we are, with the shot of him from the back, and he's a little bit more detailed. Damn it, dude, he looks so much like Bakugo. I'm not saying he is, but clearly Horikoshi has to know this too, because not only do you see the back of his head, you see gauntlets that look extremely like Bakugo's. The only difference is this individual looks more adult-like. He looks taller and more like just like an adult. And the thing that we've been discussing is time travel possible? Like, the only way for Bakugo to have been the second user would be obviously to go back in time. And I personally am against time travel inclusion into almost anything. I think it almost always makes things way too complicated. And everyone always disagrees on the rules of time travel because it's a theoretical talking point as it is. It's not... Some people think time travel works this way. Some people think it works another way. Personally, I think there's two main schools of thought. One is if you go back in time, that the actions you take do alter the future. That's one way. The other way time travel works is if you go back in time, you've there created two different realities. The reality that you left, like the one where you were in that present, that becomes its own timeline. But the second you go back, you're suddenly in a different timeline, separate of each other. Meaning that the actions you take don't alter the future because it's a different timeline. That's just, to me, what the two main ones are. There's so many different theories about time travel. Regardless, I don't want that to be the case in My Hero. So, for the sake of this, I hope it's just to make people think it's Bakugo, and I hope it's not Bakugo. And I think that the Horikoshi has some sort of other twist involved here. There's always the possibility, well, I don't know. But the question remains, why are these two facing the wall in the back? Are they like, it's almost like they're in like a timeout. Like they're facing the wall, like a kid will like, go take a timeout. Like you see the kid go like stand in the corner and like face the wall. And they weren't mentioned here at all. They didn't bring any attention to them. And the second one, people think this is Kirishima. No. This isn't Kirishima. Two reasons it's not Kirishima. Obviously, well, for one, I just don't think it's Kirishima. But two, we can see the hair here, and it looks like white hair. We know Kirishima's natural hair color is black, and he dyes it red. Both of them wouldn't appear as white here. Obviously, this is an adult. Maybe down the road, he got so stressed his hair turned white. I don't know. But again, still don't think it's him. But the fact that these two are facing the wall, very interesting. Not really sure what that's about. Okay. So that's, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. That's a whole conversation on itself. What the hell those two being here, like what are they? Okay, so now cutting to the rest of them. It's cool to hear them talk. So we know the Danger Guy's quirk. We know Banjo's quirk. We know Nana's quirk. We know the original user didn't have a quirk other than the ability to pass things down. We still don't know what the 6 user's quirk was. The one he's kind of like, you get like a high collar that goes up half his face. I could be wrong. I don't think we know what his quirk is. Meaning, so in theory, we still have 1, 2, 3 quirks that Deku could unlock. Because he's already gotten Banjo's, Nana's, and the 4th user who we spent a lot of time with this chapter. So he's unlocked those. So in theory, he's still got 3 more. Will he get those? I don't know. That's just a matter of time. I'm sure he will. At least 1 or 2 of them. At the very least, I think he'll unlock the 6. Whatever his is. Because he's actually been talking and he's not on timeout and shit. Interesting that they said in the last 4 months, my power of One for All has been growing exponentially. What's been happening the last 4 months? What happened 4 months ago at this time? Was it just Deku training? Shinamori. That's his name. The 4th user. Okay. So he said his cause of death was old age. His body couldn't handle having his quirk plus One for All. This stuff is fascinating to me. The fact that a quirkless user is the ideal person to hold One for All. It's actually brilliant. And it makes Deku actually legitimately... I mean, we already always thought he was a good choice just because of his ideals and like what makes him who he is. But him being quirkless. And I love how... who says it? He says it was like a miracle. Where does he say it was a miracle? This is a long chapter. I'm trying to find where he says it. There it is. Okay, down here. This is something neither you nor Yagi or any of us could have predicted. The fact that One for All was passed on to you was nothing short of a miracle. It's just like, and then All for One had it for 40, or All Might had it for 40 years. So presumably, the more you train while having the quirk, the stronger One for All gets. That's what the 4th user was saying. He said, since I wasn't strong enough on my own to... Okay, he says right here. For those 18 years, I evaded All for One while training this power. With this phenomenal strength, I realized I would never be able to beat him in that state. I just had to nurture this power myself. So he nurtured it. All Might... Okay, he had it for 18 years. All Might had it for 40. By the way, I love this shot of young Toshinori and Deku standing side by side. That's probably going to be my thumbnail. That's amazing. Okay. And then, okay, I'm not even... There's just a lot here. Okay. At the end, you may be the last successor of One for All. So Deku, in all likelihood, is the last one that'll have the power. All the more reason I think that the ending of the second movie is bullshit. I don't personally count that movie as canon. I just think it's I don't like the fact that Deku willy-nilly gave One for All as like a temporary pick-me-up. I just think that that's not how you're supposed to use One for All, personally. But then we end with the shot of Nana saying, "Are you able to kill Shigaraki Tomura for me?" Will Deku be able to kill someone? That's the question I asked a while ago. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the only one who asked that. I think a lot of people ask that question. Um, if it comes down to it, which if your ultimate fate is to fight against All for One and defeat All for One, you're gonna have to. This opens a whole other can of worms because, for one, there's people who believe that Tomura can still be saved. I personally would rather have him not like turn good. I think that would undermine his character that has been he. I want Shigaraki to have a tragic ending because I want it to be the case in this world that like while a lot of people can be saved, not everyone can be. Like I want that to kind of, and I want Shigaraki to be that one to set that you can't save everyone. Like his path, like sometimes your paths are just like what they are, and we've seen how terrible Shigaraki's has been. I'm not saying he's beyond redemption, but I personally don't want it to happen. I want him to kind of be consumed by like what he is at this point. Man. Dude, by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if next chapter we cut to Shigaraki in his own coma talking with All for One. That'd be a nice pairing with this chapter. As for actually killing him, what I could totally see this being like an Avatar situation. By the way, spoilers for everyone who hasn't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. So don't keep watching if you haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. The ending. Aang ultimately decides he doesn't want to kill the Fire Lord. So he essentially unlocks a new ability where instead of killing him, he just takes away his bending. Rendering him essentially like just a normal person. Dude, the similarities are so strong. Like in that one, you have all the prior avatars like who give Aang strength, and in this one, it's the same thing where you can call Deku like the Avatar, and his previous successors give him strength, and they want him to bring justice and to kill him, but Deku wants to save him, as we saw when they last met. He's like, you look like someone who needed saving. I don't know what they're setting up here. Are they setting him up to be saved like the Fire Lord was, or it's crazy that Nana is asking this too. But then again, I do wonder how, from everything we've seen, the users in the Vestige world, they actually maintain their sense of like personality and stuff, as we saw with Banjo. Very playful, very excitable. So it's presumably that the Nana we see in this world is very much the Nana that she was in life. Which is interesting. So if that's the case, her being able to say, can you kill Shigaraki for me? Nuts. It's a great chapter. I'd say this is like a 9 out of 10. Reason I'm not giving it a 10, it was very like dialogue heavy, but it was still good. I can't wait to hear the official translations for this. Yeah, okay. That's all I gotta say. This is a 35-minute video already, so please, by all means, guys, leave your thoughts down below. I want to hear your opinions. Join the Discord if you want to have discussions with us elsewhere. I mean, obviously, you can have discussions here on YouTube too, and I'll always be reading the comments and reacting and talking to you guys and stuff. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, this has been Mighty Gazelle, hoping you all have a mighty day. See you guys.